everybody, I'm Natalie with Missouri Star Quilt Company, and I'm here today with Misty.
Hey guys.
It's double take day.
That's right.
Super excited. We've got a couple of fun ideas for you.
Yeah, we're using the orange peel today, so
Yep.
we can't wait to show you our newest double take.
Okay, so I'm gonna go first today. My quilt is behind us. It's called Garden Crossing, because I don't know if you guys remember those pavers that they make for some landscaping or garden walls. I thought these looked so much like them.
It's beautiful. I love the blue and yellow.
I do too. The navy cheddar, it's a great
Classic.
combination. All right, so to make my quilt, you're going to need one package of 10-inch print squares, and I've used Jasper Blue by Whistler Studios for Wyndham Fabrics. So you're gonna need some accent fabric, and we've used this lovely cheddar color, 4 yards, and that includes your cornerstones and your inner border. You are gonna need 1 3/8 yards for sashing and 1 3/8 yards for your outer border. Our outer border is 5 inches, and it's just this lovely floral print. For backing, you're gonna need 5.5 yards, and I'll show you, we use the same fabric for our back as we did for our sashing strips, but it's really beautiful.
I love it, and I love how you can see the quilting on there with the yellow stitching.
Yep. I've been loving using a little bit of contrast in my machine quilting lately. The machine quilting pattern is Simply Roses, and it just turned out really beautiful.
It's gorgeous.
So let's get started. This is a really easy one. All right, so this quilt is very easy. It's just made up of this block over and over, and then of course, sashing and cornerstones, but that's fairly self-explanatory at this point. If you've been watching us at least a little bit.
That's true.
If it's your first time, it's not, and we'll go through it real quick. But anyways, okay, so we are going to take our accent fabric and we're going to put some fusible, some of the Solite fusible adhesive, and then we will get to cutting out some orange peels.
Awesome.
I always press this to the wrong side of the fabric. If you're using a solid, there's not really a right or wrong side, but if it's a print, you want to do it on the wrong side. And then these are great because you can cut these out with your rotary cutter very easily.
Yeah, they're super simple to cut.
Yep, so, and there are quite a few. You'll also notice on the small orange peel, we have this little notch here, and I think that is for when you stitch around the edge and then flip it right side out.
Yes.
So I tend to just ignore it and just cut right across. That way I have pointy orange peels because I like the way they look. So that is the reasoning there. And really it's just not a big deal. They don't have to be, it's nothing to measure or freak out about. Just kind of ignore that little thing and
perfect.
so we've got a bunch of these large ones, and then we cut the same amount from each one. And technically, just so you know, you can get all of these cuts out of a 10-inch square. So if you have an accent fabric 10-inch square pack that you want to use, you will be able to get them all.
Oh, that's a great tip.
Yeah, just so you know. And the little ones cut just about as easily as the big ones.
The little minis.
Although if you go to cut around and it feels a little backwards, just spin your fabric.
Better to
or
be
use
safe.
a spinning mat or whatever you want to do. But we always say if it feels a little awkward, rethink what's happening because you don't want to get injured. All right, so now we just start laying these out, and I started with my large pieces. If you're worried about finding that center, I would suggest folding it in half and just doing a little finger press right there in the middle. Fold it in half again, the other direction, and then you've got a nice little crisscross spot, and you can put your points to the middle.
Perfect.
And I don't worry too much about these things. You're gonna get your points in your corners, and these points will be in your seam. I'm just not that worried about it. I don't get too hung up on it. And then these guys just fit right here in the middle of these ones.
Pretty.
The little minis. Yep. They go in between. And it does kind of give you like a little bit of negative, sort of like a little star.
Yeah.
This little starry thing. I think it looks kind of cool.
I like it.
Right, so now all you do is peel off your heat and bond or So Lighted fusible adhesive, whatever it is you've got. There we go. That's so much better for me. So we'll press all of those down and put that one out.
I'm going to help you peel some.
Yes,
Okay,
please.
I can do that. I wasn't sure if you were going to peel them all or not.
I might as well. If I'm gonna iron it, I might as well have them all pressed down.
Okay.
So I would assemble these. I'll move it, but I'm gonna just double check it at the ironing board before you press them.
Make sure you're happy with where everything is.
Yep. This stuff has a little like static effect where it wants to stick to my hands.
I can't get a hold of this one. Come on. There we go.
You can score it if you want to.
I know. Did we get them all?
Yeah, well, almost. I'm gonna move this over to my ironing mat, pressing mat. And our last one goes right here. Now, we did our top stitching with that Superior Invisible thread.
I really like that product.
It works great, especially if you have multiple colors on your
Right.
quilt, so then it just blends right in. It tends to take on the color of whatever fabric you're
Exactly.
using.
It just kind of settles in.
Yeah,
You don't see it. It's invisible, which is what you're going for.
and that's it.
I love it.
They're so easy. So this one is the darker. It's got its top stitching on, and then we would go ahead and top stitch that one. So now they just go up here in this layout. I did 6 by 7, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 across, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 down. So we use the entire pre-cut. And then you're going to join them with a 2.5-inch sashing. So these are 2.5 by 10, which is the width and height of your layer cake square. And then we have 2.5-inch squares for our cornerstones. And so those go in between all of the blocks. And then we just finished it off with an inner border and an outer border. Our inner border is 2.5, our outer border is 5.
It's beautiful.
It ends up being 76 by 87. So it's a great big quilt. It's, you know, almost, I don't know, maybe close to queen. You could probably queen it if you made bigger borders.
Yeah.
So, but that's it. It's just that simple. And I think it turned out really sweet, and it looks a little bit more complicated than your average everyday quilt.
Absolutely. It's
So,
beautiful, Nat.
Thank you.
All right, so I guess I'm up next.
That's right.
All right, so this is my quilt. I called it Orange Peel Lattice.
It's so pretty.
Thank you. I really love how it turned out. I think it has a nice kind of soft vintage feel,
Yeah.
which is great. I think
really
it turned
does.
out awesome.
It's beautiful.
Thank you. And so let me show you what you need to make this. So because we use Tilda fabrics, you will need 3 charm packs because there's only 32 squares in each pack if you're using Tilda, so keep that in mind. But if you're using a different manufacturer, they usually have 42 and you'll only need 2.
Okay.
So 3 if you go with the same print as me, otherwise, you know,
2 packs will do.
2 packs will work. Then you're gonna need 1 yard of your accent fabric, and I use this beautiful blue. You need 3 5/8 yard of your background, 1 1/4 yards of your outer border, and 4 7/8 yard of your backing. And of course, our cute little orange peel templates
Yes.
and some fusible.
And some So Light.
That's right. So let me show you how to make this. All right, so this is pretty much exactly like Natalie's as far as, you know,
Yeah.
putting the fusible on the fabric, cutting your shapes.
Fuse it, cut it out, stick it
Exactly.
on.
And so from my 5-inch squares, I just went ahead and cut these 5-inch squares of our fusible, ironed it to the back, and then cut out my large orange peels. Those are all from our print. And then all of the small or mini orange peels, these are actually small. These
Right.
are mini.
Okay.
Come out of the accent fabric. So you're just
Yeah.
gonna cut 2 of these accent orange peels for every single block. And then
Nice.
we have 7.5-inch background squares that these set on. And I did go ahead and just press kind of a corner to corner line. So let's go ahead and do that on the pressing mat.
That's so smart.
It just helped me to line everything up.
Yeah.
So we'll do that. And then I'll go ahead and fold it this way and just finger press it to give me that true
midpoint.
center. Yeah.
Nice.
All right. And then we are going to float our large orange peel. And actually, if you fold this in half too, it helps. If you're real particular about having everything centered, that gives you a middle line.
Which, I mean, it's not necessarily about like particularness.
No.
It's more about how the fabric ends up looking in the
Exactly.
end. You kind of do want them to line up a certain
That's
way.
exactly right.
And to look level.
And all those little things just help you get a better result in the end.
Yes. Yeah.
So then I can line this up with the little finger presses and make sure my points are on that diagonal line.
It's funny because you look at it too and you think it's like perfectly straight and then you're like, oh, it needs to tilt a little bit this way or that.
Exactly.
I love it.
And so there is my first one. And then we're going to add these little accents. See if I can peel these off.
Roll it back.
I got it. And so then these I just kind of float. And I put them as close to my center orange peel as possible.
Okay.
So I like butt them up right next to it. And so it gave me just a little bit more room to keep those points on the outside edge. It's not perfect every time, but you know, we're not
They're so cute. They look like, it looks like a little bee or
like
something.
a little fluttering bee.
Yeah,
I agree.
it's so
yeah.
cute.
So we'll carefully move it over here. I probably should have lined it up on the mat.
Well,
We all have our things. And so then you just want to press straight down to fuse that. There we go. All right, and that is really it. And then just like you, Nat, I use that superior invisible thread, which was really handy since we do have the different colors.
yes.
You don't have to change your thread at all.
That's so nice.
And so here's what that looks like, all top stitched, and I just went here to here to here to here, and so I never had to stop, and I could go all the way around.
I love doing that too. I like to figure out like what is the path
Exactly.
where this can all be connected.
Yep, and it just made it go really quick because I just rotated that under my machine and got all the way done with one block at a time. And so let's talk about the layout. So there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 across by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 down. And then all I did was just sew those straight together. There's no sashing, no inner border.
I love it.
And we just added this 5-inch outer border. Super easy. And so let me see the finished size on this, 65 by 79. So it's a great size, and I use this diagonal plaid hexies for the quilting pattern, which is one of our newer ones.
I love it. It turned out so great.
I love it so much. It's beautiful. And so then for the backing, I use this sweet little floral. So
pretty.
cute.
I love those little calico flowers.
I do too. And so that is it. It comes together super quick and easy.
That's excellent.
Yeah, and I hope you guys enjoyed it.
Well, this was so fun. I really enjoyed these quilts. They're both really cute and super simple.
I agree. I love that they're so easy to make, and hopefully you guys enjoyed these two ideas on the orange peel template. So we have my orange peel lattice, and Natalie, what was yours called again?
Garden Crossing.
Garden Crossing, two great quilt patterns using the orange peel. So thank you guys for watching our double take.
Yeah. See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.